Okay, in celebration of May 4th, I do have my hand pretty much covering the open emitter for all the sound effects. I decided to pick a very unique sort of scenario where I'm going to have, what if Darth Maul, Episode 1 villain, again I'm not going to throw in anything from Expanded Universe, took on Anakin, Episode 3. You know, who actually would win in a battle of these two? Well, one was a Sith apprentice, one at this point in time is also a Sith apprentice. Hadn't quite become Vader yet, so he'd still be considered Anakin. As always, I do this through a very specific set of criteria. So you have intelligence, fighting ability, strength, speed, durability, invulnerability, energy projection, versatility, and X factor. So we'll get right into this. When it comes to the intelligence side, Darth Maul, again, I'm looking specifically at the movies, not really going to go for the comics or the Expanded Universe. You know, Darth Maul really wasn't the most intelligent of individuals. In fact, the one fantastic line he had in the trailer is entirely cut from the movie. So from an intellect standpoint, I have to definitely give the edge in that to Anakin. Fighting ability. At this point in time, Anakin has got a really fantastic style. He's got a combination of a couple different ones. I don't quite know the exact terminology. I haven't consulted my Jedi handbooks recently. And we've seen him have a pretty good job when it comes to his lightsaber combat style. But he's taken Darth Maul quite a fantastic way using the double-bladed lightsaber. It's more like a lightsaber staff. Now, using Episode 3, we see Anakin do a good job against Count Dooku. And do a pretty solid job defeating Dooku. However, he loses pretty easily to a master level Obi-Wan. Now I have to contrast that versus Darth Maul, who was able to face two Jedi at the same time. Qui-Gon, slightly past his prime, but still an undeniably strong Jedi, as well as Obi-Wan. And you know, basis the fighting that we saw Darth Maul do, his style is ridiculously fluid. You know, utilizing his blade as well as exceptional speed and other sorts of martial arts styles. So they give the fighting ability edge to Darth Maul. Strength. You know, Darth Maul was pretty much bred to be the ultimate weapon to destroy Jedi. He is at peak physical shape. Anakin, not as much. You have to remember, like, when Darth Maul was fighting, he was at a phenomenal amount of physical skill. He was somebody who was literally a living weapon. So strength edge, I'm going to give that to Darth Maul. Speed. When you watch these two guys in their lightsaber style combats, Darth Maul was almost a blur. Ridiculous amount of speed. So I'm going to give the speed edge to Darth Maul. Again, we're looking at somebody who is pretty much born and bred to be a killer of Jedi and of Force wielders and people who wield lightsabers. So definitely going to give an edge for the speed to Darth Maul. Durability. There's really not a lot in the way of dark Force healing, and there's a lot of way for Force healing. You can do it on the light side, but it takes time. You really can't Force heal very often in direct combat. It's really more of a you're outside of combat sort of scenario. It's kind of like more an overall stamina. This one I'm going to give to Darth Maul. Again, based on the fact that he is, you know, if you look at the person you pick to help you, guess what? The Sith are here. You pick the person who, from a very early age, was pretty much created for this purpose. You know, as he's battling his two Jedi, he is not getting winded. He is not at all for loss of breath. You know, this is somebody who, like I said, just is ridiculously physically gifted and beyond athletic. So we give the edge for durability to Darth Maul. Now we're at invulnerability. Darth Maul pretty much fought in a cloak. Cloak, robe, really nothing to prevent a lightsaber from actually hitting him. Around this time, Anakin had a light amount of armor, so I will give the invulnerability edge to Anakin, because if nothing else, armor is always going to be better than no armor. Energy projection. Darth Maul, while being very skilled when it comes to the overall physical side, it really didn't know much when it came to dark side forces. he didn't use a lot of his powers. You really didn't see him using a lot of telekinesis or things of that nature. Where you saw definitely a lot more of this from Anakin. So, energy rejection, looking at range, is definitely going to be Anakin. Versatility. Around this time, Anakin has got a very great knowledge of different styles of force powers. He's using more than telekinesis, he's definitely using some to enhance his speed, to enhance his jumps. He's using a lot more of it to his advantage in a much more organic style. Darth Maul, while very gifted when it comes to using the Force for the physical applications, just really hasn't gotten that amount of well-roundedness. Predominantly because he didn't really need it. His job was more or less of the assassin and not really the true warrior. You know, he was more of the, I need you to go in, I need you to strike fear, I need you to let people know that we exist, and I want you to take out some major players. Where Anakin, by this point in time, has been leading battles. He's been leading armies. He's got a tremendous amount of additional battlefield experience, so he knows a lot more about the different applications of the Force powers. He also, at this point in time, is significantly older than Darth Maul was at his demise. So you get a versatility edge to Anakin. Now that all-important X Factor. I'm lucky right now they're tied up at this 4 apiece. Now to that X Factor. Anakin showed that he is a very, very gifted swordsman. He has the ability to use not only the light side, but also, if he needs to, he can use his rage to push himself to a much higher physical level. He also knows how to use multiple different Jedi styles, as well as some styles that are slightly less Jedi. So you've got somebody who has some skills, the light of the Jedi, some slight skills when it comes to Sith, a decent amount of light side powers, slight amount of dark side powers, versus someone who's predominantly Sith, with dark side abilities. And they're both undeniably arrogant. With this one, we have the X Factor edge slightly to Anakin, because if anything else, Darth Maul is fantastically trained when it comes to battling Jedi. So he knows what to expect. He knows how Jedi's temperament is going to be. Anakin can fight as a Jedi, as well as make that slight shift into being more Sith-like. I think that's going to be just enough to potentially push Darth Maul slightly over the edge, and not quite knowing what to do when it comes to actually battling someone like Anakin. It's going to be a long, tough fight. But I think Anakin, more often than not, has enough different skills, tactics, and tricks to defeat Darth Maul.